everybody, and welcome back to San Diego Podcast, where in this segment for today, we're going to talk about UC stuff. So we talked about Wing in the first half, and now we're going to talk about the Universal Century timeline, one of my favorite timelines because it has a ton of content, lots of stuff. You got everything from Colony Drop to the Origin and Char. But today, right now, we're going to be diving into some of the more obscure things and talk about the history of Crossbone and all the releases that are coming out for Crossbone. To be honest, there are tons of stuff.
Yeah.
There are things like the Ghost Gundam that kind of got a weird robot Damashi release not too long ago. We have all of these different Crossbone variants that have been coming out. We have these F90s that have been, constantly been released in master grade form. But now we kind of have some of these P-Bandai releases that have actually come out. But I don't think a lot of people have been able to talk about them just because of how odd they are. First one is Dictus. It's Callisto's Shadow Custom. And if people don't really know about this, there's actually a right and a left hand version. And so I think this one is the right hand version, which is
hmm
kind of crazy. So if anybody doesn't know about Steel 7, where this manga comes from, basically in the history of Crossbone, you have this Jupiter Empire that is so far removed from the Earth Federation, and they get super pent up because they're like, oh my God, we don't have any resources like air or water, and so we're going to attack the Earth, and we're super angry about it. So just think like Gundam Age. For anybody who has watched Gundam Age, the whole premise of Gundam Age basically comes from Crossbone. And so they have these super high tech mobile suits that they have to go and fight up against. And so the Babylonian Empire that has been taken over by Sicily from F91, along with a pirate version of Seabook Arno, then used the Crossbone Vanguard to kind of work in between the sections of Jupiter and Earth in order to protect Earth. But in Steel 7, after the Babylonian Empire, or Sicily and Seabook, they kind of do like a little retirement thing. The Crossbone Vanguard then falls into the hands of the rest of the crew
hmm
and Tobias or Tobias. Tobiah? Probably Tobiah. I could be wrong with that. I'll look it up. But so they then have to form this group. Oh, I guess it's is it Tobias? It's Tobiah. Sorry. So it's Tobiah. So Tobiah then has to get this ragtag team together while they're on the Earth section um,
hmm
to go over to Jupiter and to combat the new Jupiter royalty people who are trying to attack Earth with a giant laser called, was it like Project Zeus or something like that?
Yeah.
So that's where that's essentially the whole story of Crossbone Gundam. But because of like all the covertness, they have to mask themselves as pirates, kind of similar to like what Captain Ash was doing in Gundam Age. So if you've watched Gundam Age, you
It-
basically watch Crossbone. Everybody's asking like, "Where's my Crossbone anime?" It's in Age,
yeah.
so go and watch Age.
There's so many parallels there. You just have to like look deep into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this model kit though is crazy just because it has this super weird asymmetrical look to it. Vibrant colors, the fact that it's a freaking hand, two weird heads. The thing that looks like a mono-eye is actually just a high mega particle cannon.
hmm
So realistically, it has everything that it needs to be a full-fledged mobile suit. It just doesn't even look like it should be in Gundam. It's very unique. And so I think for
Yeah.
people who just want something that's kind of crazy, who aren't like just dead set like Gundam fans, but they just want something that looks cool, this is your jam, man. Like, if anything, I I would love to see somebody try to like, I don't know, paint this up in like, regular looking hand colors, or like, steel looking colors, and just creating like this crazy like giant monstrosity of like a Psycho Gundam with articulate fingers, or like I don't know, a like attachment for like a Red Frame Astray, like with these giant hands. Like I think that'd be like pretty ridiculous. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Walter? What you thinking?
I'm looking at it, and it is unique, but it's so too unique in my opinion.
Oh
And
yeah, no,
I
don't get me
can't.
wrong, man. I'm never gonna buy it.
Yeah, I can't. I think the part I like about it the most is that Heat Hawk that it had, or not the Heat Hawk, the B Max. That looks really nice. But that's the only part about this I like right now is the look to that axe looks really nice, but the rest of it, the the hand is just so weird.
So the sad part about it is that you can literally get this axe from like any other Zaku. You don't need to get it from
Yeah.
this. So if that's really what you're saying, it basically means you don't like anything about this.
I,
But yeah,
I for the people that are gonna love, for the people that love Crossbone and love the different variations in that, the looks that they have for mobile suits in that, this will probably be something for them. I can't buy a hand. I just can't.
so what I think would be kind of interesting to see is if you get the right and left hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you just put the appropriate halves together. So the black half and the other black half, you put them together, and the white half and the other white half, you put it together. That I think that would be kind of interesting to see.
Yeah.
I just don't know if anyone. There's probably some Japanese, bloggers that probably would do something like that. But yeah, so just tons and tons and tons of like Crossbone stuff that's been released. Like all the F90 line has basically just been
Mm-hmm.
all like Crossbone stuff. I remember they're releasing stuff like the Jupiter packs and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
people didn't know what that was all about. That would explore. They have the F91 in Crossbone as well. They have released Crossbone, the X1 in um, real grade form. They also
And
have the X1 Kai Kai. They have the
yeah.
X2. They have the X3 in high grade form. I think they just released the X0. And then
Mm-hmm.
they also have two different forms of the full cloth, I think. So they have the Build Fighters Tri version that's piloted by whatever his first name is, Nemesis. I think
Yeah.
it starts with an A. I don't know. Was it? Let's see here. Nemesis, Team Nemesis. They're Finnish people. Lucas. There you go. Okay, Lucas Nemesis. That's his name. So Lucas is Crossbone, full cloth, and
Mm-hmm.
then they're also releasing this X0 full cloth, which I think looks pretty snazzy, just because it has that whole like silver look to it. I think it just looks really, really
Yeah.
good. What's interesting is it also comes with the Peacock Smasher, and it comes with the giant blade. But this blade actually splits apart, which is kind of different from the actual Peacock Smasher.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it looks really good and really sleek looking.
Yeah.
So you get some armaments that are a little bit different, just enough so where it will entice you to actually, want to get this suit, especially with its color. Like I think the color really sells this suit. Um,
Yeah.
it has this
I
nice like silver, like finish look.
I definitely do like that. It's very space looking, that color.
Right.
It's almost space, almost no. I was gonna say it's almost space gray, but it's a little lighter than space gray. but it's still a very nice color.
Yeah, I think it's really good looking. It's very handsome looking model kit. Um, but I think for me personally, I I kind of got into the Crossbone game too late, to be honest.
Hmm.
And like I didn't grow up with it. And because I didn't up with it, like it doesn't really mean that much to me.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I guess it kind of looks cool like the older that I get. I'm just like, oh, look at the possibilities with like its different like, close range combat like weaponry and stuff. But really it's just, a different design that I've kind of seen around the block before, and it doesn't like mean a lot to me. I haven't spent a lot of time with it, Not like the
Hmm.
Wing Gundam, not like the Leo, Like I've seen that thing blow up so many times on screen. It's like, well, you know what? If I can have it blow up in my hands, my physical hands, then that'd be kind of nice too.
Yeah. I,
So
I, I think Bandai has been more recent with the Crossbone stuff, only because they're capturing they're tapping that small hole that they had for it. Because I think the only Crossbone stuff I remember that was released was like back in the 1980s. They were the really like original, like what you call it. They weren't high grades, but they were their original model sets. They had a few crossbones, but they were the really like pagan hole kind of models.
I don't remember seeing any crossbone kits that are 1/144th scale. To my recollection,
Hmm.
the earliest crossbone Gundams were the master grades.
Hmm.
So they had the master grade boxes that kind of came out in like the 2000s, and then they
Hmm.
had right after that they kind of had the version Kotokis, and they had maybe a little bit of like the G generation stuff that
Hmm.
kind of were released. So prior, like just shy of being prior to like night or like 2000, but I could be wrong with that. But those are what I imagine were like the earliest um, crossbow model kits. I don't
Hmm.
remember seeing anything else. But after that, there was like this huge boom of just so many different variations of crossbone that had come out. At different lines. So you had mass grades, real grades, high grades. They were being released. Metal builds, robot damashis, like tons of stuff coming out here and there.
Uh,
SDs, all of that, and many different iterations. So you had crossbone 0, 1, 2, 3, Kai. So yeah, there's all this stuff all over the place. Um, but yeah, I mean, I I think I'm slowly starting to warm up to the crossbone suit. I think for me, I like the idea of it being called the F97 a lot more.
hmm.
I think that just is a lot cooler. I'm not personally big on the crossbone, um, like the actual like skull and crosses design. Like
Yeah.
I'm not super big on that. But if it's just the suit itself, like I'm like, all right, I'm pretty okay with it. I like it. I can dig this.
Yeah. So the first X1 full cloth was really hold on, it's coming up here. It was released in 1989, it looks.
Wow, 1989.
Yeah, and it's the black one. The solid black one. I'm trying to get a picture of it to come up.
Sure, yeah, let's take a look at this guy. Is it
It keeps going to every time I click on the old one, it keeps going to the new one. It doesn't want to open up, but
what are you using in order to find it?
Google.
I'm really curious to see what this 1989 version is. This one.
Here, I'll throw it into.
Did you send it in the chat? Okay,
Yeah.
I see it. I just see it. Just see images.
Ah. Okay, let me see if I can figure out how to get this to.
Yeah, sure thing. But let's see here. So people are actually looking to like get some of these model kits while Walter's looking that stuff up. The P-Bandai HUC 1144th scale Crossbone Gundam X0 full cloth is going to be retailing for about 2,700 yen at on May 2021. It's going to be released. So it's actually pretty good. It's a pretty solid model kit. You get a lot of accessories. So by a lot, let's count it here. So um, you get for the combat knives, you get the skirt anchor. You also get the flintlock pistol. You get the swashbuckling sword, two of the beam sabers that also kind of doubles as beam cannons. You get an extra blade for its double saber. You have another kind of flintlock looking pistol. You have core fighter, and you also get I think it's called the Zandbuster sword. And you also have 6 different hands that kind of go along with the suit. This is on top of the eye field skull generators and the full cloth armament itself. So okay, looks like he was able to send it over. Oh, so this is an F91 kit,
Yeah. But it's
but this is
so.
not. Oh, you're okay. Now I see what you're talking about. So I was specifically talking about like the Crossbone Gundam
Mhm.
and not the Crossbone Vanguard stuff. But yes,
Yeah.
so the F91 stuff that came out did come out like, in the 80s, 90s. But in terms of the Crossbone itself, the Crossbone Gundam and the Crossbone like manga, like
Mhm.
that Vanguard of suits, they didn't really come out until I think like 2000s.
Right.
I think the earliest one being the Master Grade that had come out. But yeah, these guys are pretty interesting looking too. So what Walter's showing is let me see here, the the Buragiros suit from the F91 Crossbone Vanguard. The thing that good old second in command eye patch guy starts using. I don't even remember what his name is to be
Neither
honest.
do I. Yeah.
I he pilots the X2 eventually, but his name is, let me see if I can spell crossbone correctly. It is piloted by Sabine. There you go. I remember now. Sabine Charou. I think that's his name. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I forgot actually that Sabine actually, or Tobiah actually pilots the X2 for a little bit, and Rosemary Raspberry, Raspberry. But yeah, cool stuff. The more we learn about Crossbone, the more interested I start to become with it. Um, but yeah, Crossbone X2 has a pretty gnarly design. You look at it in the show, or like when you look at it in the manga,
Mhm.
it doesn't look honestly like all that great. But then when you look at the model kits, you're like, oh dang, this looks super cool.
Yeah.
Really liking the
They definitely give it a better look in model form than it is in the, or they bring it to a better realization in model kit form than it is in manga.
right. Yeah, and personally, like I think it should just stay that way. I think the manga definitely has its charm. Um,
Mhm.
oh, you know what I didn't notice about this? X2 kind of has like those things that the Destiny kind of has. I didn't really notice that. If you look at the head silhouette, it actually looks really similar to the Stargazer. Yeah, if you look at like the side vents and stuff like that. So yeah, interesting. Never really thought about it that way. It's the Stargazer. I don't remember what its head crest kind of looks like. Oh yeah, it's pretty normal looking. Yeah. Oh, it goes straight back. It doesn't really V-fin out. Okay. Cool. But yeah, no, Crossbone, I think people should definitely check it out. It's kind of corny and really funny, but it definitely creates a different atmosphere for the UC timeline if you're not used to it. I think it's really worth your while. Not like Origin. Don't think Origin at all.
No.
The whole think like Astro Boy.
Yeah, it goes kind of wacky from the F90 times to the end of the Crossbone. That whole little spot in there is just, it's different. It's almost like trying to watch what is it? Galaxy Train 999, I think it was, or
yeah.
It kind of has that feel to it with the way they're portraying as a space opera.
Definitely, yeah. All right. Well, my eyes are definitely starting to water, so I think that means we're gonna have to cut this short. But any final thoughts, man?
Oh no, I may or may not get the Crossbone. It does look interesting, but we'll see.
I'll be excited when a real grade comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be very, very excited when a real grade comes out, but that's probably not going to be for a while.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people are already jumping on those mods, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in on this second segment of our Gundam podcast for this month. We hope that you're all staying safe, that you're all washing your hands. We love you guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see everybody next time.